Today I will be explaining on the topic mass transfer. So, what exactly is mass transfer? We already discussed conduction, radiation, and basic heat transfer method in the previous videos. Now we are talking about mass transfer. So, the basic basic condition for heat transfer is we know temperature gradient is one of the main pinpoint factor for heat transfer, right? Temperature gradient. So there should be a change in temperature between 2 points in order to have the flow of, not the heat flow. But just like heat transfer, in mass transfer, we'll be considering concentration in the place of temperature. So not to occur mass transfer, there should be concentration difference between 2 points. Okay, if there is a concentration difference between the two components or 2 points, whatever you're taking, obviously there will be mass transfer. Okay, so mass transfer take place until both the point or both the components achieve the same concentration. Okay, so mass transfer is a mass in transit. That means motion. It's a result of the species concentration difference in a mixture. So that's a basic definition of mass transfer. It basically happens when there is a difference in the concentration between few points, and it is the mass in transit. That means the mass in motion. Okay, this is what explanation of what is a mass transfer. Okay, so what are the different modes of mass transfer? How could it take place? Or the different ways in which mass transfer take? How would it happen? So next, look how the different modes of the mass transfer. So this is the different modes of mass transfer. Basically, the mass transfer occurs in two way. It could be either by diffusion or by convection. Okay. So these are the major two way in which mass transfer occurs by diffusion and convection. So next, and then let's look at how does the mass transfer by diffusion take place. So mass transfer by diffusion is also called molecular or eddy diffusion. Okay, it's also called eddy diffusion or molecular diffusion. So this, as you know, as a term indicate diffusion, this takes place at the molecular level, okay, or microscopic level. We can't see the diffusion process, unlike with a naked eye. It happens at a very smaller level. So the mass transfer at the microscopic level, and it happens due to the concentration gradient of one or more components in the system. Okay, basically by diffusion, it works on the same principle of the basic mass transfer, but it is happening at a very microscopic level. Okay, the diffusion of mass from a constant occurs to a layer of stagnant fluid, and it may occur due to the concentration gradient, temperature, or pressure gradient. So these are the different factors that cause the mass transfer by diffusion. So if you took the real application example of mass transfer by diffusion. Diffusion means basically something is joining with other, right? So simple as that. If you can tell in a single word, simply means it is simply diffusing with something. So that's a mass transfer by diffusion. So the various example, real-time example of mass transfer by molecular diffusion, you can see the dissolution. Okay, the dissolution of sugar or salt in hot water. And you know, initially it is having a different concentration. I mean, suppose I have a spoon of sugar, so it is having a very high concentration, but the liquid I am pouring it will be having a very low concentration of that solute, right? So one point I have a very large concentration, on the other point there is a very small concentration. So there's a large concentration difference. So obviously there should be diffusion. So when I pour it into the water, it will diffuse and it just diffuse uniformly until both the concentration becomes same. Right, that's what happens in when you add sugar in water, right? So similarly, this process can be seen in the evaporation of water from pond to increase the humidity. Uh, so the water will be evaporating not to attain equilibrium to maintain the concentration level. Same case, then evaporation of petrol and engine carburetor. So these are the different examples that the mass transfer takes by diffusion. Okay. So up next is the next one is the mass transfer by convection.